Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, Congress has failed to protect the American people from the tragic gun violence that is plaguing our nation. The mass shooting in Roseburg, Oregon, was the 297th in the United States this year alone. That's more than one mass shooting per so far this year in our country. In fact, every year, more than 30,000 Americans are killed by guns. Yet the Republicans have blocked any legislation to prevent future tragedies. It is past time for us to act. It is time for us to listen to the American people who overwhelmingly support common sense legislation on guns. 90% of Americans support background checks before someone can buy a gun. 90% of Americans support background checks before someone can buy a gun. 90% of Americans. So let's close the loopholes that allow online gun sales and sales at gun shows without a background check. 90% of Americans want background checks. Let's close the loophole that allows already proven domestic abusers to buy guns. That is overwhelmingly supported by the American people. Let's close the loophole that allows straw purchases to buy guns and flood our streets with them. Overwhelmingly, Americans don't want this kind of illicit sales with no background checks to be conducted across our country. And let's close the loophole that allows a gun sale before a background check is completed. At least let's complete it. And let's take our heads out of the sand on the causes of gun violence and how to prevent it. We have, ladies and gentlemen, the power here on the floor of the United States Senate to pass legislation that pretty much all of America expects us to pass. It is time to end the NRA's vice-like control of this chamber. The NRA says it's the National Rifle Association. Well, our goal should be on this floor to say that the NRA stands for not relevant anymore in American politics. We should do this now. It's an epidemic of gun violence in our country. It is not preordained. It is preventable. And I'm proud to join with my colleagues in support of these common sense gun safety measures. I thank everyone, and I yield back to the President.